Hey, this is Carrie from Wrap Your Head Around Silks. This is the Expecting Aerialist podcast. How's it going, guys? Hope you had a wonderful weekend. Thanks for tuning in. Before we get started, check the show notes. Aerial Rehab there if you want to check it out. A free 3-part series dropping to inboxes very, very soon. And then the mini course by Wrap Your Head Around Silks if you want to check me out as a teacher. Really easy way to log on to the student portal. So I'm really excited to have Samantha Manou here. She is an Aussie. She's based in Sydney. She's a teacher mostly on lyra and trapeze. She is a mom of a toddler and also 35 weeks pregnant, probably now 36, recording a little early. So we talk all about her pregnancy, what it's like to train and teach while pregnant, what it was like to come back to her practice after her first kid, and everything that surrounds that. So I'm really excited for you guys to get to know Samantha. All right, guys, let's get started. In Australia.
Yes, slightly in the future.
Slightly in the future. Where are you in Australia?
So I'm in Sydney.
You're in Sydney. I love Sydney. I've only had a good experience in Sydney. I was there at the exact perfect time of year, and it was picturesque.
Yes. Yeah, it's a pretty beautiful city. I wish I could say I lived anywhere close to the beauty of the harbour. I'm not. I'm very much on the outskirts of Sydney.
It's okay, because I live in LA, and I'm just nowhere close to the beach, so it's fine.
Yeah,
same.
That's the same. Yeah, nowhere close to the beach.
Samantha, I had put out on the Mama's Facebook group that I was looking for some diversity in story and in geographic diversity. And correct me if I'm wrong. Did you suggest yourself to me, or did somebody else?
No, I had some colleagues and students of mine. So, yes.
You had at least 2 people be like, Samantha. So what's that about? Your students just want to hear.
Yeah, I guess, I don't know. They want me to share my story a little bit, I suppose. After listening to some of your, previous podcasts, I was like, I don't know if I'm really suited to be on this kind of podcast. But
why not? Because I like, of course I have the people that everybody knows, but then you got to mix it up with all the other diverse stories. Samantha, tell us, just tell us a little bit about yourself.
Hi, I'm Samantha Manou. My stage name, as a lot of people know me by, is the Metal Aerialist. So I've been doing aerial now for 10 years. Before that, I did pole dancing for maybe 3 or so. But once I started aerial, that was it for me. That was the new love. I have a 2-year-old daughter, and I have a 35-week daughter inside me still. So
I love this.
Yeah, we are almost there. Yeah.
So so this is the part I didn't know. I didn't know you're currently pregnant. Can I tell you, for the podcast being called The Expecting Aerialist, I very rarely get the timing right to have somebody on here when they're actually pregnant. So I think it's good because everything's more in hindsight, people forget all types of details. But when you're in it, everything's right up close. So this is great. Okay.
For sure.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Okay. So I want to get into your pregnancy and then your pregnancy earlier. But as an aerialist, are you? You said you're a teacher.
Yes. So I'm currently still teaching. I am 35 weeks, as I said. Obviously, things are much harder now than they were a few weeks ago, but still teaching, and loving it. feeling good. I teach lyra or aerial hoop and trapeze predominantly.
And what studio are you at?
So I teach at a few different studios across Sydney.
Is there a big community? Like, how many active studios are there?
Yeah, it's quite large now. Although, I mean, being in it, I would say there are quite a few studios around. But when you always talk to people who don't do aerial, they still, it's still the coolest thing in the world to them. And it is the coolest thing in the world to do, so that's fine. But yeah, I would say we're branching out a lot more in Sydney. Yeah.
Okay, so I am a silks and hammock person before I'm a hoop person. And I will not touch a dance trapeze to save my life. Will not touch it. When my friend Sita says, just treat it like a hammock, I'm like, have you lost your mind? There's this hard bar and then two knobs that are even harder. You've lost your mind. So when I was training lyra, because I train lyra, it's not my first. When I was pregnant, I got on that thing and I was like, oh, hell to the no. Like it hurt so much more than normal. So please give me your thoughts on your apparatus, because you're used to it. It's different when it's your primary.
Yeah, definitely. So I would say trapeze is my first love. And I started static trapeze before going into dance, but it's a lot harder to find places to perform static than, of course, the single point dance. But yeah, I've not really, like, being pregnant, I find that, when you wrap yourself in the trapeze, it hurts a little bit more than normal. I'm sure all the hormonal things, are to thank for that. But I've not really found lyra or trapeze to really affect me in any way extra while being pregnant. Silks is actually, it's funny we're talking about it, Silks is my least preferred apparatus.
Totally.
I've just not done it that much, and I don't feel, confident on it like I do on the metal bar. But yeah, I've been doing them for so long that being pregnant is just another, some other kind of hurdle that you have to
go over. So I feel like that's what happens when it's your primary. Like, nothing hurts me on silks anymore. Like, my students are complaining about it 24/7, and it's so irritating when they're complaining.
Yes.
Come on. Like stop. But when did the front balance go away pretty fast?
Yeah,
okay.
That's definitely the first thing. Yeah.
Well, it depends on your anatomy, not your anatomy, your proportions, I think, because depends on where your hip bones are compared to your belly button, all that stuff. Okay. Second obvious question. How has your flexibility been throughout? Do you feel a difference?
Not really. I'm lucky. I'm quite flexible anyway, post pregnancy. As post, I should say. Okay. Before, yeah. And I'm I'm mildly hypermobile. So if anything, my first pregnancy, I didn't really have this issue, but this one I've been getting a lot of pelvic joint pain, which I didn't get previously. So I've had to adjust a few things that I would normally, do with ease on lyra and trapeze, but what those things are actually haven't affected me that badly. So my flexibility is pretty much
so you don't feel like the relaxing is making you like super bendy? Okay. No, that's probably a good thing, since you're a little bit hypermobile. Probably good.
Yeah, definitely.
Do you feel like you have SI joint problems in the back or in the front?
A little bit of both, but with my first pregnancy, I kind had little pain and that was it. This one, like I actually strained my symphysis pubis slightly at the start of pregnancy, and I think it's just kind of gotten worse.
Did it just...
it's just one of those things that they're like, you're pregnant. It sucks.
Well, did it shift just on its own?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, okay.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah. But I was lucky because my physio kind of just said, you actually do a pretty good sport because being in the air means you're not weight bearing, and that's when you're going to feel the pain mostly.
So only when you're like walking or standing, which is actually still a lot.
Exactly. Yeah, just walking, going upstairs, getting in and out of the car, those normal things.
Those very normal pedestrian things. Right.
But being in the air, not a problem.
What are some things you do to relieve the pain?
So I've got one of those pelvic belts that I can't really wear while I'm training or teaching, but certainly for as we said, the pedestrian activities, walking around and everything, it helps. The pain is just kind of constantly there though. Worse at night. So once, I've slept through the night, wake up and it's like I need to limp for about an hour before I'm ready to get going.
Does it help? Because I never had SI joint pain in the front. I always had the pain present in the back. And it actually, my chiropractor, when I was pregnant, is at the first trimester, one of my elephant ears was completely out. And once he put me back in, it was better. It's not like it kept shifting around. You're talking about the pelvic belt to help stabilize you. After it got put back in, it wasn't so problematic. But I had to, what helped me was to lay on a roller on my back with it underneath my hips and do a million different exercises. But I think that pubis symphysis is different because it's when the front is problematic.
Yeah, that's it. So mostly I only get back pain if I've been, I think regular pregnancies. It's if you're standing too long, or if I'm, carrying my daughter while I'm 35 weeks pregnant is not ideal, but it has to happen sometimes. So
wait, how old is she again?
She's 2.
Okay, so my bean behind me is 2.5. I am having some major pain, not pain that I'm feeling right now, but when my arm is outside my body, far from my body, and I'm holding her. If I have to she would jump somewhere where my arms are out, kind of far away from my body. I'm trying to support 25 pounds. That's how heavy she is probably right now. So this is killing me. I cannot even imagine having that and then being 35 weeks pregnant as well.
Yeah. I guess, I don't know. I guess because I've just been, constantly lifting her or picking her up along the way. My body's slowly gotten used to it. But yeah, I don't know.
The thing is that I think about everybody that I've interviewed who has more than one. I'm like, how do you do it? And you just do it. That's the thing. I think that's always the answer. And then of course, when this one comes out of your body, then you're going to just have to do that. So
exactly.
Yeah. So tell us about this pregnancy besides the pubis symphysis. How's it been going?
Generally pretty good. Yeah. I've had both my first one and this one. I'm pretty lucky. First trimester's always, it's been pretty crappy for me, but I would...
Just nauseous?
Yeah, nauseous and actually throwing up. But as soon as I would throw up in the morning, then it was like I could have the rest of my day. I was fine. I didn't feel sick at all for the rest of the day. But guaranteed every morning I would wake up feeling sick. Yeah, so that stopped around 14 weeks or so. And then,
thank God.
Yeah, it's been pretty good apart from the pubis symphysis. It's, I've been really lucky, I think, because I know so many friends who have gone through, all sorts of different things in pregnancy. So,
do you mind if I ask you your age?
I'm 31.
Okay. So you're training. Okay. So what are you able to do in the studio?
So to give you an example, one of my regular classes, we call it lyrography. So it's, just choreographing stuff on hoop. So last week on Wednesday, I demonstrated their entire new routine, doesn't have the things that I can't do in it, but still very much able to, I guess, go through stuff like that. My students, I'm pretty lucky. They've been students of mine for a long time. So generally they were with me for the first pregnancy as well. So they're very understanding when I'm like, I'm not going to do this trick, but I will describe it to you, and correct you when needed and all that kind of thing. So while I'm still able to do stuff in it, I'm also aware that I'm 35 weeks and I need to calm down a little bit.
You're way nicer to your students than me. Basically, I was on pelvic rest after 20 weeks because I had a low-lying placenta. So I was teaching the whole time, not demoing at all. So my students really got that opportunity to learn that skill set, which is like talking, and then they do it. Can you do an inversion right now?
I can. It just doesn't look very good.
But you can still get your hips up. That's great.
Mostly, yeah. It depends on what kind of, like I was still training trapeze for myself, like so me as a student, only, up to 2 weeks ago. And I was still doing inversions in the rope and everything.
Wow.
They don't look very nice. But yeah.
But no pullovers and no legs under the bar. So you're kind of limited to a straddle inversion to get on?
Yeah, definitely straddle inversion. But I can... Like I was still training pikes and splits under the bar, but obviously I can't pull straight into those because I don't have enough room.
Yeah. Oh my God. So impressive. Some people literally check all the episodes for the ones that are stories like this to be like, how long?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So you are 35 weeks. Do you have a particular birth plan?
I had a non-planned cesarean for my first baby, and because of that, my doctor suggested we do the same. So I'm totally fine with that. So I've got a date and everything, and hopefully we'll make it to that date.
How do you feel about it? Are you excited to have it planned?
Yeah. Very, very excited. Yeah, I'm very much done, I think, this time around. Even though I still have over 4 weeks left.
You have senioritis on being pregnant. I did too. I feel like
yes.
I feel like people are in one camp or the other. The people I talk to, either they're super, I want to get the midwife and the pool and the natural and like no, what's it called when intervention? No intervention, right?
Oh, yeah.
And then the other camp, which I'm in, which is cut this baby out of me. Right now, like, yeah. So,
yeah, pretty much.
So it's very interesting. It's very interesting to see the differences in what people prefer and why, and their experience with it. And it's very cool.
I think for my first, maybe I was a little bit more hoping for a natural birth, but then at the end of the day, like it couldn't happen. So I was like, okay, well, just get the baby out then in the safest way possible. So this time I'm very much more relaxed about it. Instead
of having a VBAC, because I know that some women have gone for that, where you do the vaginal birth after C-section. It's literally called that, right? Yeah, I just interviewed somebody and she had like an amazing experience hypnobirthing very naturally. And I'm just listening to her and I'm just like, wow. Like, that's not me. That didn't happen to me, but that's amazing that happened with you, you know?
Definitely not me.
So you're going to be a toddler mom and a newborn mom. How are you thinking that you're going to go about, like, is there anything from the first one that you'd be like, okay, I want to try something new? Or is it like, it works so well with the first, let's see if it works well with the second?
Yeah, I think my husband and I are really both just go with the flow kind of people. So we'll, you know, try the same kinds of things that we did with the first. And if it works, great. And if it doesn't, we'll try something else. Yeah, we're just really relaxed about the whole thing, which everyone keeps telling me is why my daughter's fairly
chill.
Relaxed. Okay. But who knows? Yeah, who knows?
No one would describe me as chill in my life.
Well, it depends. It depends what we're talking about, right? For baby stuff, I'm chill. Maybe not other things.
Was your first a good sleeper?
Yeah, she's a really good sleeper.
I
know, I'm probably going to get destroyed.
No, you don't know. Like my little bean, she didn't sleep a full night until after 18 months.
Oh, wow.
It was a long time. And now she sleeps like a champ. But man, she tested because like, I'm also not one to be able to like not go without sleep very well. Like some people can. My partner, he can be sleep deprived and function pretty good. That is not me.
Yeah. Same.
Yeah. So, okay. So this is exciting. So can you tell me what your process was getting back into the air after your first?
Might have been about I should say I did. I've got a rig set up at home, and I think I did a toe hang at like 5 weeks post baby because I was just so excited.
You trapeze people with your fucking toe hangs. You would not pay me enough money to do a toe hang for any reason. But this is a silks person talking to you. I'm like, oh my God, you guys are crazy.
Yeah. So that was like that was the first thing, but then other parts, you know, doing very simple tricks were a bit more painful because obviously there's a scar there and you're stretching your muscles and everything. So I properly started training maybe about 4 months, I want to say, post. And that's when I decided I didn't want to do lyra or trapeze because I know them so well. I didn't want to come back and realize my weaknesses.
Oh, that's interesting.
So instead I decided to do hammock instead, or sling. And I'd never really done much. I dabbled in it. And I enjoyed that so much more because not only was I learning a new apparatus, I was, without knowing, gaining my strength back.
Okay, wait. So let me mirror back that psychology back to you.
Yeah.
So because you don't want to be reminded that you couldn't do what you used to do. If you were on a different apparatus, it didn't feel that way to you because it was new.
Correct.
I've literally never heard anybody say that because the foreignness of it is enough of a barrier to entry. You know, people want to get back to something they're comfortable with.
Yeah. Yeah, okay. I understand that.
But this is so interesting because I was just like, never occurs to me. But then I guess like you're thinking, I'm not good at this anyway.
Exactly. Yes.
Maybe you're not from Australia. Maybe you're from the upside down.
That's it. Yeah.
Okay. So you started on hammock about 4 months postpartum and you loved it?
It actually worked out well for me because I ended up teaching hammock as well when I got back. So I was able to pick up, you know, I mean, I guess like once you've been doing aerial for a while, there are transferable skills, especially between trapeze and hammock. There were a lot of things that we were doing that I could, you know, very easily go, oh yeah, I know that move on trapeze. So yeah, then when I started teaching, I picked up, it was maybe just 2 or 3 days a week, very, minimal for me, probably 5 to 6 months then post. Then I ended up teaching beginner hammock as well. So it kind of helped me in the long run anyway.
I mean, hammock is just so good postpartum to like give yourself a little assistance while you're trying to do these really hard things. Is there anything, like, for example, when I went back, so I went back, I had a C-section as well, and I went back to teaching at 2.5 months. And that means that I was like lightly training with them.
That's crazy.
I wasn't doing a lot. Like I was lightly training with my students. And when I first went back, 2 things were definitely gone. My hip key in the air and my inversion in the air. It was the oddest thing to me for my brain to know how to do something and then my body not to respond. Did you have anything like that? Or were you just not surprised? I guess I shouldn't have been surprised by that.
I definitely noticed my abs the most, I guess. So because I wasn't doing as much lyra or trapeze, which were, my predominant apparatuses, I guess the only real thing I noticed with hammock was, the ability for me to be like, the instructor would demo something and I'm like, that seems simple, no problems. And then me not, physically being able to lift my legs in that way, and being a bit bummed by that. But then, after doing the term, it was really awesome for me to look back and be like, well, 10 weeks ago I couldn't do that trick and now I can. So clearly, progress is being made. But there weren't any, I guess it's similar because it would be those like inverting in the air kind of tricks where I struggled the most. All the abdominal stuff, heavy abdominal stuff, I should say.
And you teach a lot. I teach a lot. The thing that I've experienced this year the most probably is a bunch of really, really like emotionally distraught students who took a break over the pandemic and they've lost everything. And I really feel like my experience postpartum helps me guide them. Do you feel that?
For sure, yeah. That's where I often suggest what worked for me. Obviously, I don't know if it's for everyone, but I'm like, that's why I went and tried a different apparatus. And then maybe after you do that for a couple of months, you come back to lyra or something, and you may find that you're stronger than when you first tried to come back. Or it's not for everyone though, but it might work.
I'm assuming that you are planning to come back to it after this pregnancy?
Yes. Yeah, definitely.
Okay. Do you have any, are you having any feelings about it?
I think partly that's the reason why I'm trying to hold on as long as possible.
Okay.
Now, still teaching, still every now and then getting myself into the hoop or the trapeze to be like, no, I can still do this at the moment. It's okay. Because I know what it's like afterwards, and I know that it's hard, especially, the first month or so for sure. Yeah, I think that's why I'm trying to hold on as long as possible. But at the end of the day, it'll just be what it'll be. And, hopefully the cesarean, I had a pretty decent recovery with my first. So I'm just hoping that it'll be as close to as possible with this one.
It's not the only reason, but it is one of the reasons why I don't want to have a second, because this is my second time coming completely back. The first one was because I broke my leg in half.
Oh, yes.
That was 10 years ago. And then I had to come completely back. And then again, when she was born, almost 3 years ago. But it's not, but the thing is, it's like in one way, you can do it. But then you're like, I'm going to do this. At least that's my thought process. But I think that's the other reason other women need to hear these stories because you have like a very calm confidence around it that that's what you do. Of course, you'll get back to it. You're going to go with the flow. You are very chill. I like it. with certain things. Do you have any advice out there for people who might be like you, either that they're teachers turning into moms, or they're gonna juggle two perhaps, or they're just going through your pregnancy? Do you have any wise words?
The thing that has worked for me the most is to just, listen to your body. So I've been going for this long, this pregnancy, because my body has been telling me it can handle it. The first pregnancy, I didn't go for as long. I think I stopped at about 32 weeks or so. So it's just honestly listen to your body, listen to, if you're in constant pain, it might not be something that you can continue for a bit. If you're not, then why not continue it?
I love that. I feel like your students must, because I feel that calmness with you. They must get a lot of that energy from you too.
Maybe, yeah. I also run a show basically on my own that a lot of them have seen me perform at while pregnant as well.
What's the show called?
It's called Eternity. Okay. So it's essentially an opportunity for people who listen to rock and metal music to perform to those genres.
Amazing. There's something for everybody.
Yeah, that's right. So, so I think a lot of them have seen me. Essentially, I've only run 3 shows so far. So I've been pregnant the whole way through. So I guess they've seen that as well as me instructing still. We just keep moving on. Okay,
so one last question, and you don't have to answer it, but I love asking anybody who's not living in America this question. What do y'all think of us right now? Because this country is crazy right now. What are you get when you say America? What are the thoughts that pop into your head?
Yeah, it's a little scary to think that. It certainly makes me thankful that all those years ago when my parents migrated to Australia. Oh goodness.
I've lived here my whole life, right? So I was born here. So I don't want to live anywhere else. But I just think to myself, if I was on the outside looking in, if I didn't live here and I was looking at this mess happening in front of me, holy shit, I would have some thoughts. But we're here to support all women. I love this community because regardless of who I interview where, there seems to be such common threads of like-mindedness. Not to say that you always want to talk to somebody who thinks the way you think, but it's true. There's a lot of like-mindedness and a lot of support regardless of where people live. And I like that a podcast can bring people together because you guys are geographically pretty far away.
Yeah, absolutely.
I want all the podcast guests that I've interviewed from other countries to come visit us in LA and come train at some point.
Yeah, I would love to. I've my husband and I have had this America-Canada trip in the back of our heads for so long, but other things take priority, so I'm sure we'll get there.
Well, and there's a worldwide pandemic in there somewhere too, so not exactly easy. Yeah. This has been great talking to you.
Yeah, you too.
All right. Thank you, Samantha, for coming on the pod. Love talking to you, and thanks for sharing your story. We all wish you a collective good vibes for baby number 2 coming out. So we're thinking about you, and I'd probably love to bring you back to talk about the after. So my friends, please check the show notes if you haven't yet signed up for aerial rehab or the free mini course. It is all free for you guys. Just tons of resources on my website if you want to check it out. Wrap Your Head Around Silks. And if you'd honor me with a 5-star rating and a review where you get your podcasts, it would help so much. You guys are awesome. Thanks for being here. I appreciate you. All right, guys. See you next time. This is the Expecting Aerialist podcast.